And greetings and welcome to the QCast. This is season 5, episode 29. And we have a really big basketball game happening in Belton, Texas this Sunday at 2 p.m. with number 9 Illinois Wesleyan facing LeTourneau. And I thought it'd be a great time to get James Wallace on here, the head men's basketball coach of the Yellowjackets. James, thanks so much for your time. I know you guys are busy with games coming up. How are you doing and how are the holidays?
And we're doing great. I appreciate you having us on and having us be a part of this. And always appreciate what you do for all of D3 Hoops. And I'm excited to be a part of this conversation this morning. And holidays were great. It's one of those, you're excited to get some family time, get away from it a little bit. But then after you're done opening presents, eating some Christmas food, you're excited to get back in the gym again. So, guys are back here on campus and we're ready to get rolling.
Yeah, really excited to head down to Belton. I live in Dallas and excited to head to Belton to watch the game Sunday and then the game Monday as well with Mary Hardin Baylor. Was excited to see some pictures last night on Twitter of my guys practicing at U Dallas. So that was kind of surreal seeing that's kind of my local D3 team nowadays. So that was fun to see and hope the Titans are having a good start to their trip. You guys are, James, in a great spot right now. You're sitting at 10-2 on the season. Talk a little bit about kind of how you feel right now, sitting at 10-2 through 12 games.
Yeah, this was definitely a different year for us as far as non-conference scheduling. Our conference, losing some members, and so only ten
Right.
conference games, having to schedule 15 non-conference games. So you're really trying to cram as much in as you can in November and December. And it was we were excited to get some of the teams that we were able to play some different names, some different programs that we've never faced off against before. And so, while that is exciting, it brought some challenges as well. And
Sure.
I thought our guys did a great job, of adapting and kind of preparing for all those matchups and those different teams. And we feel really good about where our team's at. We've had some games and some stuff early on where guys are injured or sick or whatever, and we're having to kind of adapt and fight through that adversity. And our guys have really stepped up. And so while we do have two guys that are pretty heavy scorers, we got some guys that have stepped up in big times and put up some numbers and scored for us and made winning plays for us. So we feel really good about just the depth of our team and seeing some of our young guys step up as well.
And we'll talk about those guys. You do have a couple guys that jump off the page, and then, like you said, you've got a lot around them as well. I wanted to ask you. You mentioned kind of the stuff with the conference, the ASC situation. I think I'm sure that's been really difficult for all involved. You've had a lot of teams leave the league, and there's a ton of uncertainty here as what's going to happen. Um, I can't remember. I should remember if LeTourneau kind of has a longer term plan that you figured out. Are we riding with the
Yeah.
ASC or what's the plan here long term?
Yeah, we announced that we will be joining the SCAC
That's right.
next year, and so that's our long term move there. So we were excited to get that invitation to join, and that keeps us really the I think the main driving force behind it was staying mostly in Texas, and so not as much travel with that. So we were able to maintain that, and then obviously maintaining the AQ for all of our sports with a solid conference that has, we'll have 12 members now with us and Hendricks joining next year. So,
And that's going to be such a great new mix in the SCAC. It also solidifies, I mean, high level, it solidifies you guys being NCAA Division three, and I think you'd agree, James. Like LeTourneau wants to be a Division three institution. Is that fair to say?
yes, yeah, we're committed to that. We love that. We feel like it's a great fit for us academically, and also, athletically. So it's a great fit for us, and that's where we want to be.
Yeah, and so congratulations to LeTourneau on sorting that out. I thought in my head I had seen that somewhere. I just can't remember all the coming and going on the ASC, and so it's great to know that you guys know where you're going to be. Um, just curious in terms of scheduling this year, how did the Illinois Wesleyan game come to be? Was this just Coach Cliff saying, "Come to my tournament, I'll let you know who you're playing"?
Yeah.
Did you have a say in who you were playing, or how did this all go?
No, yeah, Cliff reached out and, he was, he's always put on good classics, especially since he's been there at UMHB. And so it's a decent, an easier trip for us to get down to Belton as opposed to when he was all the way out in Sul Ross.
Right.
But yeah, great relationship with Cliff, and he reached out and said, "Hey, I want to bring some teams in. You guys interested?" He didn't have the teams at that point of who it was going to be, but then when he told me, I was like, "Oh shoot!" Right after Christmas, we get Illinois Wesleyan coming into town, and Concordia, Minnesota as well, and so two good teams coming in that are going to test us, physically and bring some different. Tough matchup. So we're excited about it. And as soon as Cliff told us, we were pumped about it.
Yeah, and it really is an interesting matchup because I think you'd agree it's contrasting styles to the nth degree. You guys are an elite 3-point shooting team. You play fast. You're shooting 497 from the field. You're shooting 389 from three. You score 86 points a game. And obviously, the Titans are way bigger across the board. 1 through 5, you'll be giving up 2, 3, 4 inches at certain spots, right? And so just it's one of these games where I think the Titans have matchup problems. I think you have matchup problems. I know you're not going to give us the full scout on the QCast here, but just your general impressions after watching Illinois Wesleyan on film. Like, what are your general thoughts going into this game, James?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. The contrasting styles is going to be very interesting just to see how this game plays out and who can kind of dictate that pace and that, style of play and, how both teams kind of adapt to that. And so I'm excited to see how our guys adapt to, like you said, playing against some bigger teams. And, we've had some experience with that recently. I mean, we've played two Division I exhibition
Yeah.
games and SFA and McNeese, and so both those squads put out way bigger lineups, and so
Yep.
have when you do have a 5'9" point guard that you're putting out there against a 6'2", 6'3" point guard, those things can be a little tough, but it's also great experience for our guys and preparation for games like this where we are going against an Illinois Wesleyan team that not only are they big, but they're skilled, they're strong, extremely well coached, and so it is going to be an absolute chess match. I feel like on how to attack and how to defend, and I'm really looking forward to seeing our guys compete against some of the best in the country.
It's one of my favorite kind of matchups. It's the kind of matchup you see in the NCAA tournament when you get out of conference play and all of a sudden now you're in the second weekend and you get paired against some team that you haven't played all year, maybe you've never played, and it's this completely different style. I think this is going to be fun. And you mentioned point guard. That is the one place that you're not giving up any height because our point guard, freshman Josh Fridman's also 5'9", but this Deontay Jackson, James, 5'9" senior, averaging 24 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Now, these are silly numbers here. He's shooting 525 from the field. This dude is 106 for 202 from the field. And here's maybe a sillier number. He's shooting 439 from three, 25 for 57. I had Elijah Beard on here, Eli Beard from Mary Hardin Bailey the other day, who I called maybe the best pure shooter in Division III. He has similar numbers. So maybe we need to bring Deontay into that and say the co-best shooters in Division III. But talk about this Deontay Jackson kid, James.
Yeah, Deontay is special. He's in his fifth year, and he's been doing this ever since he got here. His freshman year was that COVID year, so only got 11 games that year. But he's been averaging 20 plus his entire career. Each season, and he continues to improve his game each and every year. And I think one of the things that we challenged him with this year was being more efficient, and just not being a volume guy. He can score the basketball, but we want to find great shots, and he's been really good with shot selection. He's been really good with getting it off his hands and not trying to force anything, and just kind of letting the offense come to him. And so that's one thing that we do offensively as a program is we preach good to great. And so even though he is a 20 plus point scorer, and he can make a lot of tough shots. Why not find the great one?
Yeah.
That's it. That's wide open. That's high percentage. And so I think that's why you see our field goal percentage the way that it is as a team. But then some of these individual guys that, yeah, they do draw a lot of attention from opposing defenses. But because we share and move the basketball, they're still able to find good open looks.
Yeah, he's a special player. He's a guy that certainly right now is very much in the All-American picture in D3 hoops. You have another guy that has just as crazy numbers, and that's Cademan Liebengood, a 6'5" senior forward. 20 points, 8 rebounds, an assist, a steal a game. This guy's shooting 645 from the field. He's 91 of 141. I mean, 645. He's shooting 500.500 from three, 16 to 32. So you have a second superstar in Cademan Lieben. Could talk a little bit about your 6'5" senior.
Yeah, Cade has been incredible this year, just with his strength and being able to finish through contact. I think that was I think one thing from last year to this year that he's really improved on is not just getting to the to rim and getting to the free throw line, but being able to convert on some of those and ones and finishing around the rim. And he's improved his ability to just score in a lot of different ways. He can stretch the floor, shoot from three. Not sure exactly. You got all the stats. I'm not sure what he's shooting three right now. But
16 to 32. That's easy
yeah,
math right now. That's
there you go.
0.500.
That's great. So again, taking great shots, within our offense, within our flow offensively, and so he's another one that just, is steadily improved year after year, and just kind of put in the work, and really proud of him. Just his ability to take on a bigger role each year as well. And so he's playing out of position, I guess, if you want to say that, being 6'5", playing kind of our five man in that
Right.
that respect. But he is a tough matchup that way when you're putting bigger guys on him. He's very skilled with the ball in his hands and can put the ball on the floor and attack, but he can also stretch the floor and shoot it. But he's also strong enough to bang down low and finish around the rim as well.
That's one of those interesting matchups right there, right? Is you have a 6'5" guy playing the five, and we have a 6'10", 240 guy. Your guy likes to step out and can do all kinds. It's a fascinating matchup. I guess that's all we need to say, right? Like that's a great X's and O's matchup right there.
It is. It is going to be. It is going to be a chess match, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You have three other starters, obviously. So Walker Blaine's a 6'4" grad student who's a forward, having a nice year for you. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's one of the guys, and we'll talk about Connor Miller and Cooper Smith. He's one of the guys that really complements those two high volume scores very, very nicely. Talk a little bit about Walker Blaine.
Yeah, Walker. I mean, he's one of those. The impact that he has on our program goes way beyond the stat sheet. Incredible leader. He kind of sets the tone for our program and what we're about, and kind of living out those standards. And so he's a great voice. Just kind of an extension of the coaching staff when it comes to keeping our guys focused in on what the important things are, and not allowing things to slip and fall as far as our standards go within our program. And he's just been great, and also just accepting his role, and I think he's averaging less than he, scored last year, but all that he cares about is winning. And so as long as we're doing those things, and he enjoys seeing other guys step up and making big plays. There were, I don't think any this year, but last year we had some games where he just wasn't scoring the ball well, but a guy would come in and be on it and scoring well. And he was like, Coach, leave him in. He's going, coach, leave him. So, it's just one of those unselfish guys that just really is about the team and about the program. And so to get him back for a fifth year was really important for us, and has been a big part of our success early on this year.
Um, Connor Miller's a 6'3" junior guard, averaging 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Talk a little bit about your junior Connor Miller.
Yeah, Connor was one. We were excited to get him back in the program. We recruited him out of high school, went the junior college route, and we were pumped when he committed to come to LeTourneau, and just an elite shooter. He started off really slow as far as stats go, and so yeah, the numbers have started to creep back up to where we knew they could be. And so he's one of those guys that just he can get hot and get going. And then he's made some incredible strides when it comes to the defensive side of the basketball, and being able to put him on some tougher matchups and guard guys that can score the ball. So Connor's doing a great job of blending in, like you said, kind of complementing Cade
Right.
and say, and just being ready to let that thing fly when he does get that look, within the flow. He's ready to let it go, and our guys and we all have confidence that it's going in every single time.
And then just your fifth starter, wanted to talk about Cooper Smith, who's a 6'3" freshman guard, averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Talk about Cooper Smith.
Yeah, Cooper is, you talk about a guy that just he does everything, and just nothing jumps off the stat sheet of like, wow, he's really elite at this, right? He just does everything well. I think he's leading our team in offensive rebounds right now, so he brings the effort, brings the kind of the intangible things that way. But as a true freshman to kind of um, he does the little things that coaches love, and just love to see. And so he understands the importance of those things, and he practices extremely hard, and that's a testament to him, but also, the reason why he's, in the starting lineup as a true freshman is because of that. And, he seems to step up in those big moments and knock down a big three when we need it. We've put him on some tough matchups, and he's had to kind of had those freshman growing pains of,
Yeah.
guarding some of these 22, 23-year-old guys and veterans, but he puts his head down and does the work. And so we're glad to have Cooper here, and just watching him just thrive as a freshman has been really special.
It really is a very talented starting five, and especially anchored by those two guys we talked about, Jackson and Liebengood, and then you put the other guys around them. It's a very cohesive team that plays well together. Um, Wanted to ask you just a little bit about your background. This is your fourth season as the head men's basketball coach at LeTourneau. You're from Bellevue, Nebraska. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And my wife and I lived in Lincoln for 4 years in a work stop, and I got to ask you. So, are you a Huskers fan?
I am a big Cornhusker fan, die hard. That's really the only option you have when you're born and raised there. And so, hey, we made a bowl game this year, so we're excited about
Right.
that. Getting to watch them play some postseason football. But yeah, born and raised on Nebraska football, and Nebraska and Creighton basketball. So that was just kind of my upbringing right there in Omaha area in Bellevue. So, but yeah, been here at LeTourneau for fourth year as a head coach, but 11th year overall. I was
Right.
7 years as the assistant coach, and thankful and just very blessed to have been given the opportunity to take over as the head coach, and got to bring in my brother
Yeah.
Joel as assistant coach, which has been amazing just to have him here with me, and just being a part of what we're building. And he's a great X's and O's mind, a basketball junkie, and so he's a big part of what we do and how we operate as a program. So I'm thankful that I have him here, and we're able to do this thing together.
Talk a little bit, if you would, about the school, because there'll be a lot of people that watch this that don't know much about LeTourneau. Talk a little bit, like, what kind of school is it? What are the great things that you have to talk to recruits about LeTourneau?
Yeah, so I mean, really we're branded as the Christian Polytechnic University. There's a lot of Christian universities across the country, but we're really the only one that is primarily focused on the STEM programs. We have a great engineering program, aviation, all the sciences, technologies, computer science, cybersecurity, all these emerging fields and important fields. And that's part of the mission behind LeTourneau is, every workplace is a mission field. And so we want to be equipping young men and women to be men and women of character and that are going to live out their Christian values in whatever workplace they go into. And we understand that the world is changing and evolving, and so we're constantly evolving what we're doing, and the majors that we're offering to meet those needs of the world. And so, we are continuing to adapt and bring in new things. And we offer a hands-on learning experience in every aspect. And so, our engineering is top notch and really cool to see a lot of the projects
Sure.
that our students are doing and having an impact all over the world. But that's kind of, from the academic side of things, that is our focus. And then athletically, we've seen a lot of great success in the basketball side of things, but also just all of our sports growing and bringing in a great staff, and we're just in a really good place as a university
Yeah.
as well. It's unfortunately, it's sad to see, some schools in places where they're having to make cuts and there's things going on there, but we're in the midst of a really cool fundraising campaign right now where we're thriving and we're about to break ground on indoor track facility on campus,
Nice.
and then build a brand new engineering building on campus as well. So it's a really cool time to be at LeTourneau University.
And being obviously in Texas, I guess I've been here 11 years now, so I don't think I think of myself as a Texan certainly, but I've been here 11 years, so I have some cred.
Yeah.
What a great what a great recruiting pool just outside your back door. Do you primarily focus, James, on I should have looked at your roster and where the kids are from. Do you primarily focus on kids from Texas? Do you have a little more regional, national view? Like where do you get your kids from?
Yeah, you don't have to spend too much time traveling all over the world when you live in Texas. There's so many kids here, so many great programs here to recruit from, and so that's a primarily our focus. So it's Dallas, Houston, Austin, and then
Yeah.
you know hitting up the small towns in between as well. So that's our roster makeup for the most part. We've over the years had a handful of out of state guys, but that's for us. It just makes a lot of sense to recruit Texas and be here. So that's been our focus, and we've had a lot of success with that.
Just a couple things and wrapping this thing up as I know you're busy. You went to Southwest Minnesota State. Remind me, is that D2?
Division two, yes,
The
yeah.
NCAA Division two school. Played there a couple years. You got hurt. That ended your career. You were a student assistant, then you were a grad assistant there. You mentioned you've been at LeTourneau for like 11 years now. I'm just curious. So you're a Division two guy. That's where you grew up. Um, what do you love about NCAA Division three? Division two is great too. What's been kind of your YD3 story in your 11 years around Division three?
Yeah, I think for me personally in the coaching realm, Division three, like you just get thrown in and you're as an assistant, you're doing everything. And so like you are involved in every part of the program. And so like that's why I felt like I was prepared and ready to become a head coach, was that, as an assistant, it was just me and the head coach, Dan Miller. And so with just the two of us on staff, you're really getting a feel for every bit of what it means to be a college coach and run a college program. And so I've enjoyed that. I know my brother is enjoying that as well, just being able to be a big part of what we do. And But then I think, the Division III model and just the way that, it operates, I have two young kids. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And so to be able to have that balance as well, to be able to have that family life, and be able to, prioritize them as well, and still do a great job and still compete and bring in high level players, high level athletes, and see them grow and develop, as well. And so you just it's also, being at a place like LeTourneau where that, yes, they're paying for their education and they're coming in,
Right.
but they're getting a great return on their investment, because not only are they getting that basketball experience and just being a college athlete, they're getting a great education that's going to go on to, help them, in the future as well.
Yeah, I enjoy hearing everyone's impressions of Division III, and that's certainly something we like to celebrate here on the QCast. Appreciate your thoughts, and I guess just a few final thoughts on mine, and then I'll ask you for yours. First of all, glad you're a Husker fan. I became a Husker fan, and let's see, we moved to Lincoln in 2011, and so the Bo Pelini era, Taylor Martinez, Rex Burkhead era. What I have found, James, is my life has become more sad. It's been painful because I've not missed a single Nebraska game since we moved there. We were season ticket holders for 4 years, and then I've watched every game on TV since. So I'm hooked, and it's been more pain than it has been joy for me. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm all in, and I can't get away from it. Do you agree? It's been kind of
Oh,
rough.
yeah, I was blessed. I was young, but I enjoyed the 90s and the early
I'm
2000s,
sure.
Nebraska teams that were dominant and were, in that national conversation year after year. But yeah, definitely been some hard times recently. I'm hoping and praying that Matt Rule will, you know, continue to, turn this thing around like he's
I
known to
think he
do.
will.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely, Saturdays can be, hit or miss. What are my emotions going to be after this game? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Husker
just
fan can be tough right now.
I just had to throw that out there. It's good to meet another Huskers fan. And as when you tell people you're a Nebraska fan, you're either a Nebraska fan and you love the Huskers, or you absolutely hate the Huskers. And so like I've had to get used to that. Um, it should be for my Illinois Wesleyan fans that are watching the QCast. This is going to be another really good team the Titans are playing. So like on paper, the Titans have played and beaten three ranked teams. Cal Lutheran, Platteville was number 2 at the time. They might be 5 now, and WashU currently is 2. And I think you're going to find that LeTourneau is one of the great teams the Titans have played. When you look at these two guys and what's around them and the way they play, I would encourage everyone tune into this one. This is going to be cool X's and O's. I think both teams have tremendous issues to try to figure out before Sunday, and it's going to be great to watch. I will be there in person, and James, look forward to saying hi to you in person. It should be a fun game. I'm going to leave you with final thoughts on the QCast. So you're going to have Yellow Jacket Nation tuning in, a lot of folks from D3. The IW fans, they're tuning in, trying to get some information here. So what would you leave everyone with today, James?
I'm not going to give them too much, because we need to keep some cards close to the chest here. Yeah, this is going to be a great game, and as soon as we got this on the schedule, I was just excited to get LeTourneau's name, and just get our program in this national conversation, because we have had a lot of success, over the last 7-8 years especially, and playing against teams like Illinois Wesleyan that are continually in that national conversation and playing tough teams. That's the only way to do it. And so we want to put on a great show, but also show what we're about as a program. And so, excited to do that on Sunday, against a great opponent. And you know I think hopefully you'll see, just the brand of basketball that we play, just the unselfish sharing the basketball, moving the basketball. And yeah, while we do have two guys that are scoring, at a very high level, we got a lot of guys
Yeah.
that complement that extremely well, and they just play well together. And so we want to exemplify that on Sunday. And like you said, it is going to be a back and forth, and I'm really just excited for this chess match and ready to get in the gym this morning to prepare for it.
It's like I said earlier, these guys, the Yellowjackets, are shooting 497 from the field, which is elite. They're shooting 389 from three, which is elite. They're scoring 86 points a game. And I'll throw in there that, like, you've got a situation where both teams have been off for a little bit here, but right, the Titans come back from a break to a game where you better be ready to run. So this is going to be super interesting. I hope the boys stayed in shape. James, it's been great to finally meet you. And the game is Sunday at 2 o'clock, and I will see you there. And I look forward to meeting you in person.
Man, it sounds great, Bob, and I'm really looking forward to being down in Belton and watching these two teams compete.
We'll see you Sunday, James. Thanks so much.
Oh, great. Thanks, Bob.